AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
So good. He is our bud. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Tybers Hurts sent me a text and said, so with Michael Malone out of the picture, who do you see coaching the Pelicans? As we established yesterday, it's post Malone.
It's not. It's not his name.
That's what those of us who know him best call him.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yes.
And you would have no way of knowing that because you've never met Michael Malone.
Post.
No, Michael.
Post.
Mike for short.
Nope.
NBA champion.
Nobody calls him Mike.
A lot of people do.
Nope. Not those that know him best. We call him Post.
He's gonna be playing Tiger Stadium.
No. That's a different Post Malone.
That's a different Post Malone.
Different guy, not the same guy.
Not the same guy.
That guy has tattoos all over his face.
He
I've
does.
seen him. But he's not my good friend, Michael, a.k.a. Post Malone.
No. That's not what anybody calls him.
I don't know who's going to coach the Pelicans. You got a thought? Who do you want to coach the Pels?
I don't have a thought. I'm going to be honest with you. No,
Please don't lie to me.
I don't. I mean,
Paul, who do you want to coach the Pels?
I'm the same. I got no thoughts. Somebody good, please.
Who would be somebody good?
Anybody better than what we got now?
I actually disagree with you. I think James Borrego would be really encouraging. I think he's a young guy, defensive-minded. They actually played hard for him. Zion stayed healthy and played the most games of his career, which is stunning.
Yeah. Stunning that he stayed healthy, or stunning that this was the most games of his career?
Both.
Both?
I think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
So I would not be opposed to James Borrego getting shot. And, you typically go one of two ways. You either give the first-time head coach a shot, or you go the retread route. Well, who's the retread you want? Now, Michael Malone was interesting, a.k.a. Post.
Mike.
Because he's won an NBA championship. I did so, obviously, with a dominant big who's a multi-time MVP. I don't hate the idea of Borrego, but what I think is going to happen, I don't know who they're going to hire, but you brought in Joe Dumars, and he's going to want to hire his own coach. He's not just going to want to promote the guy that was already here from the previous regime. He's going to want to hire his own coach. So sometimes that's to the detriment of your organization. I asked AI. They do mention James Borrego.
There we go.
They mentioned Darvin Ham. Kevin Ollie. Remember Kevin Ollie? Won a natty with UConn. Jamal Mosley. Noted for elevating the Orlando Magic through defense. And Post Malone.
and Mike Malone.
And then
off
they
the board?
mentioned Mike Budenholzer, Taylor Jenkins, Frank Vogel. I'm like, you want to go down the retread route? There you go. Go down the Stan Van Gundy retread route again. Who's going to get you excited?
That's the thing, man, right? Because, I mean, you did the retread with Van Gundy. You did kind of the young up-and-coming guy with Willie Green.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to pinpoint because you've seen him go both routes here recently, and it just hasn't gone well.
Or maybe they could hire Post Malone, like the singer Post Malone. You want to talk about selling tickets? Let Post Malone do like the halftime entertainment. Actually, I wouldn't even do that. I would hire DJ Jubilee.
There you go.
And let him do the halftime entertainment.
He does the halftime entertainment a lot of the time, though, right?
Well, he did it once when I was there.
You were there?
For it was the playoff game. It was game 3 against the Dubs. What year was that? 2018.
Playoffs, man.
Those are fun.
Those are a lot of fun.
Playoffs are fun. You know what's not fun? Your team's stinking.
Yeah.
And never making the playoffs ever. But if Zion's healthy, they hit in the draft. Boy, it would be nice if you had top 10 protected your friggin' draft pick this year, you losers. That's why you're a terrible organization. Anyway, we've met our quote for Pels Talks, and I know most of you don't care. We are brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Of course, the Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics, the great physicians at the lake take care of the fighting Tigers, but they also take care of everyday champions like you and me. And one thing that from the very first conversation I ever had with the folks at the lake, they stressed with healthcare, the two things primarily people want are access and convenience. Access and convenience. Think about it. You want access and you want convenience when you need to see a doctor, when you need a specialist. And at the lake, they keep that at the forefront of everything they do. If it's specialized care for heart, stroke, pediatrics, whatever it may be, cancer, Our Lady of the Lake can help. If it's for everyday care, Our Lady of the Lake. Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU together, we roar. It is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. The other, real quickly, and when we in the next segment, I'll circle back to some of what Lane Kiffin had to say, because there's another position group he talked about today that I want to highlight. We'll do that here in about 5 minutes or so. Jeremy Fall, by Master P. He resigned his job at UNO. He's available. Business mogul. Had a stint in professional basketball.
Yep. Another one who could double as head coach and halftime entertainment.
Maybe the entire staff could be like, Master P, Silk the Shaka. Is he in prison?
I don't think he is.
Silk?
Mystical is, but
Is
I don't.
Mystical in prison?
Yeah, I don't think Silk the Shaka is in prison.
Did you just imprison Mystical?
No, I'm pretty sure he's in jail, man.
Look up Silk the Shaka. DJ Jubilee. We get Choppa. I mean, just get all
Choppa
the Nola
would be
Bounce
good.
guys and let them sit on the bench, and they take turns doing the halftime performance. You want to sell some tickets? Hey, Mrs. B, you're welcome. We're just handing out free ideas here, free advice. And then I got this from Preston, who said, Matt, any whispers to what fans have donated to the baseball NIL fund? Seems to be going bonkers on X. Okay. Oh, Andrew Bayer said Mystical lives in Prairieville. See, I think you imprisoned Mystical already.
I'm going to check, because I'm pretty sure he...
Please look that up. I think you mistakenly imprisoned Mystical. I think Silk the Shaka is the one that's in prison.
No, Mystical's in jail currently.
Are you sure he's presently in prison?
Rapper Mystical, real name Michael Tyler, is currently in jail awaiting sentences after pleading guilty in March 2026.
26 recently. That was a month ago.
To third-degree rape stemming from a 2022 Louisiana arrest.
So he's not. So, but that was just a month ago.
He was arrested in 2022, and he's currently in jail awaiting sentencing because he pleaded guilty last month. Like, he's been in jail.
He's been in jail 4 years.
Yeah.
What about Silk the Shaka? Look him up.
No, he's doing marketing. That's what I looked up first.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Silk.
Wait, Silk?
Silk is doing. Here you go. Business side of entertainment, vice president of marketing and production for Surge City Entertainment and STS Productions.
Is Surge City Entertainment? That's not Surge. Drew Brees' Surge.
It doesn't say. I'd have to Google that too. It doesn't say there.
Okay. All right. We're figuring it all out. All right, it's after further review. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I think we all got dumber listening to that segment.
I think it is Drew Brees' deal.
Really?
Yeah. You type in Surge City Entertainment, the first thing that comes up is Surge Entertainment, and Drew Brees by Drew Brees.
Surge or Surge City Entertainment, are they different things? I don't want to erroneously compare these two here. If that's wrong, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of it, maybe. I do have a thought on the the baseball funding NIL thing. That's a few people have sent it to me on social. It is certainly not spreading like wildfire, like that person suggests, and I certainly don't think that crowdfunding is going to work. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I'll tell you why. Let me stay on time. I'll come back. I'll explain that. I do want to let you hear a little more from Lane Kiffin. LSU baseball lineup will be posted a little later this hour. We'll go through it as Tigers will take on Bethune-Cookman. We'll get to all that. We're glad you're here. It is AFR.
After further review.
One person who certainly has been very generous when it comes to donating to LSU and NIL has been Gordon McKernan. Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. And most importantly right now, it's a time of year where I get to remind you about the Gordon Gives a laptop giveaway for Gordon's grads. So, different URL. Go to gordonsgrads.com. Gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com. Gordon is giving away laptops, MacBooks to graduating high school seniors in Louisiana that are going off to either a 2-year, 4-year college, or trade school to help in that transition in the next phase of your life. An awesome thing that Gordon does. Another way he gives back to the communities that he serves. So if you are a graduating high school senior or have one in your family or know one, make sure they know. Send them the link to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com, how they can enter to win one of those laptops or MacBooks. Get Gordon, get it done.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't in the cars or pickup trucks, but if it runs like a deer, man, her eyes light up. She thinks my tractor sexy.
Big shout out to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Bunkie and below, you want a Deere, you're going to Sunshine. Sunequip.com. Sunequip.com. Jay Johnson is not who we're going to talk about right now. Lane Kiffin was asked earlier today about freshman defensive lineman Richard Anderson, if he can make an immediate impact for the defense in 2026.
Yeah, I do. We're not very deep defensive line. So it was really important to bring in portal guys, but then also, sign the high school guys that we did. And so there's very high expectations for him and the others.
That is an extreme moment of candor. Not saying that, I think Richard Anderson can make an immediate impact as a freshman, but saying we're not very deep right there. For a roster that was built via the portal and added more than 40 players to not be very deep at defensive tackle feels like a little bit of a miss, but as I sort of evaluate it, it kind of feels like the entire defense is very top-heavy. I'll explain a little more what I mean here in a second, but one more from Kiffin on Richard Anderson.
Phenomenal prospect. This guy's going to be a great player. It's just a matter of time to when that happens. And love how physical he is, love how hard he's worked early. Again, these guys really are seniors in high school. We just over time have changed their enrollment, for so many guys to come early. So he's doing a great job. Got a little banged up and played through it Saturday, which was good. So we're really excited about him. Very well coached.
I was doing an interview earlier today with Crane and Cone. It's Jake and Blaine Crane and David Cone. I think it's going to drop tomorrow. But we ventured into this conversation about the defense, and while LSU prioritized returning 3 players defensively, Witt, Pickett, and Woodland were the 3 they prioritized on the defensive side. Got them all back. You look at the defensive side of the ball, and there's a lot to be excited about as far as returning players and newcomers, right? We just mentioned Witt. That's exciting. TJ Daugherty led the SEC in tackles. That's exciting. Pickett and Woodland both back. Great. Ty Benefield at safety coming in. Tamarcus Cooley coming back. Really good. But I also look and go, how do you feel about your linebacker depth after Weeks and Daugherty? Devon Keys is there. Had 88 tackles a year ago. But are you really confident in his ability as an every down linebacker? Maybe he continues to grow and develop, but it's a question. But after Keys, then what? Same at cornerback. I mean, you feel really good about your first two guys. And you could throw Jakeem Jackson there, very highly touted prospect, but injuries have really slowed his career. But then you go, okay, I mean, is Michael Turner your answer next? Aiden Anding? You're thin. And then at safety, look, Benefield and Cooley are your starters. Yeah, Deshaun Spears is your star. Maybe Spears could kick back and play safety if you need him there. But after that, you're talking about a guy like Fahim Delane or Aiden Hall, a true freshman, early enrollee. You know what I mean? So, like, you don't have great – you have, I think, really good frontline players at all levels defensively. What you don't necessarily have is depth across the board defensively. And then you look at the defensive line, and that whole thing is made over. Now, you got Prince William Monmiel and Jordan Ross starting at end. The Relaford injury certainly is just really tough. But on the interior, the only impactful guy who's back at defensive tackle is Dominic McKinley. Now, he's a former five-star, and we're all hoping he hits this boom in year 3, right? By Dom's own admission, we came to LSU, big, giant prospect at 6'6", over 300 pounds, and you look at him and you go, God, he's a monster. But he had to learn technique and learn how to play. I mean, in high school, he's ragdolling offensive linemen who look like me. You get to college, and now you have dudes your own size, and you have to rely more on technique. And so for McKinley, I think that's been a progression. But he's it. And so much of that is because of the turnover you've had from Bo Davis and Kyle Williams before them with your defensive line coaches. So, Bernard Gooden is gone. Jacobian Guillory's gone. So you return Dom McKinley. But after that, you had to go in the portal and add Blockton and Stephylan Green. But next, we have gone out there to practice every time they've let us. In the 11-on-11 period we see, Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson are taking reps with the ones. Geralds was out there again today. And all the practices we've been to, and they've practiced 7 times. We've gotten to see 6 of them. There's been one practice where Geralds wasn't with the ones in that quick 6 period we watched. It was McKinley and Blockton were the ones that day. But Geralds was back there today with the ones. So all that to say, I think Lane Kiffin, in a moment of candor there, is right. That you can be really excited about Richard Anderson and Deuce Geralds and these freshman defensive linemen, and you could also be a little apprehensive about your lack of depth. Because across that front, even when you look at your starters, now Prince Willem Monmielen, this is now his 3rd stop in college. He's played a ton. He's got the skins on the wall. Jordan Ross was a 5-star. He was a top 10 overall player in the country when he signed with Tennessee, but he's a backup for 2 years at Tennessee. Is he ready to be an every down player? And then after that, you're talking about some program guys, especially with Gabe Relaford's injury. Dylan Carpenter, Kalash Cobbins. All that to say, I really am confident in LSU's frontline defenders. I think there's a giant question mark in all 3 levels at who's next. You got talented guys, highly recruited, regarded, all that stuff, but not a lot of experience as far as depth at any of the 3 levels. It's going to be a giant question for the defense this year. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, you can always get by Rouse's.com or check out the Rouse's social media. Facebook, Instagram is a great resource. Today's Tuesday. It's $5 sushi every Tuesday over at Rouse's. So maybe you're feeling like Asian for dinner tonight. Swing on into Rouse's and grab the already pre-made sushi. Everyone get their own favorite roll. Maybe you like California. Maybe it's tempura, or maybe it's tuna, or whatever your favorite is. They got you covered over at Rouse's. Grab and go. Please the entire family. Still got crawfish. Easter's behind us, but still crawfish season, y'all. So get on by Rouse's. Grab your crawfish, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Today, Tuesday, the hot bar menu: black pepper steak, honey chicken, fried rice, seafood rangoon, egg rolls, vegetable lo mein, white rice, and cobbler. Check it out at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home. So one of the things I told you I wanted to circle back to is I had a message via the text line asking, I want to read it to you again just real quick. It was, where is it? Here it was from Preston, who said, any whispers to what fans have donated to the baseball NIL fund? Seems to be going bonkers on X. So there's a post, and several of you sent it to me, and it was about basically encouraging baseball fans to go join the coaches committee and donate to baseball NIL. And some people did some back of the napkin math. If 400,000 people gave, I think one I saw someone sent me, it was like if 400,000 people spent $10 a month, that's 4 million or whatever. That's not realistic. And I don't mean to be the wet blanket on the fire. But you put 100,000 people in Tiger Stadium, you're never going to 4X that number of people that are going to give to baseball. It's just not realistic. I think optimistically, if you can get 10% of your ardent fans to give, that's a good thing. That's a good number. I think as far as crowdfunding, I know this. The school that did it the best in the old collective days was Ole Miss. Ole Miss had a very specific ask, and the way that they were attractive to tens of thousands of donors in the $50, $100 a month range, where they could do recurring gifts of $20, $50, $100, which, let's be honest, that's the masses, what someone might be able to do. And in numbers, if you appeal to your base and your masses, you could have some success, but it's not nearly the number that you're thinking that would be enough to float and support an entire athletic program. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't give. I'm just saying the napkin math a lot of people are doing is just not realistic. The biggest missed opportunity for fundraising is the $25,000 to $100,000 donor. Because there are way more of those than seven-figure donors. Now, it's easier, if you're a fundraiser, to identify the seven-figure donor and go to a lunch and get $1 million check. I mean, that's a big lick in one lunch. That's way easier than having to go convince 10 people to give you $100,000, right, to equal that $1 million. But there's way more numbers of the $25,000 to $100,000 donors that if LSU could engage, I think with a specific ask, is a real opportunity. Now, by the way, I don't think folks at LSU are listening to the show right now and taking notes. I don't think they're asking me for my opinion. Now, I've had a lot of these conversations with folks at LSU and with boosters and with administrators and all kinds of people because it interests me and it is something we talk about a good bit. But I think what I will continue to say and what I have said repeatedly is that we are entering into an era where if you were supporting the athletic department solely on ticket sales and donor dollars is not realistic. It's not. What LSU just did for the football program in this offseason, appealing to their donors to get this massive amount of committed dollars to buy this roster, you can't do it every year. Hopefully you don't have to. Right? Hopefully you don't have to go spend more than $40 million on a football roster every year. But it's also not realistic to do year after year after. They did it once, It's not to say they won't raise any money next year, but to think you're going to do that every year is not realistic. They capitalized on a giant tidal wave with Lane Kiffin coming in. So the thing I've said over and over again is you've got to find new creative revenue streams. We've talked about a bunch of them here. We've talked about putting Venture Global on the football field. We've talked about the Woodside Energy jersey patches, both things that I highly endorsed here because you got to get out of your feelings if you want to win. And so do good deals with good partners that can generate new revenue streams and help you win. It's the give and take. So those types of things, those new revenue streams, that's what LSU has to keep what everybody has to keep tapping into. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but you have people every day that are hard at work. And the other complicating factor is you have so many entities that are all asking. You've got NILSU, Max. You've got TAF. You've got the LSU Foundation. You have the Alumni Association. You have the Collective. You have so many different entities that are all asking and pulling from the same donor base. And so that's really challenging when you start to stretch the donor dollar across a lot of different organizations. So what's most important? I don't know that. It's not for me to decide. I don't run that organization. They can do it. But it's why I keep saying you can't just solely rely on increasing ticket prices because eventually you get to a breaking point with your fan base. You can't just keep going up on ticket prices forever. And you can't just keep going and milking the same donors for dollars. So it's about new, creative revenue streams. And that's what's going to be fascinating to see in the next 3, 6, 12, 24 months. All right, it's after further review. Speaking of baseball Tigers, they're back on the diamond tonight against Bethune-Cookman. We'll wait and see the lineups posted. We'll run through it when it is. Give you a preview of that. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. Good night last night. Otter was 3-1 or 4-1? We had three baseball picks in the basketball.
3-1, yep.
It's a 3-1 night for the Otter last night. If you use that boost on the basketball game with UConn, you hit. It's exciting. Find out what the Otters got in here about 15 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
REV. Let's rev. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. We're talking about your internet service provider for your home, for your business, cable, phone, home automation, security. Rev does it all. They're backed by an all-fiber network, which I love. Cables are buried under the ground, which means storm comes, power lines fall, branches fall on power lines. Doesn't affect you any. It's all buried under the ground. That's when we made our switch, when they came in, Rev came and installed fiber, buried the fiber cables in our neighborhood. We are thrilled with the level of service and the quality of the product. You will be also, especially if you're a business owner. Look at Parish Construction Roofing. We're Rev customers. Guarantee Media. We're Rev customers. Maybe you could save money in your business every month by reducing your bill on all your internet providers. Let's Rev.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She likes the way it's pulling while we're tilling up her land. She's even kind of crazy about my farmers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're a good team. I watched some of them today. They are a team that is going to win a lot of games, and so because of that, that's important. We have some work to do in the RPI, and this game is actually going to help us if we play well in it.
Jay Johnson talking about Tuesday night's game against Bethune-Cookman out at Alec Box Stadium. We're a little less than an hour away from first pitch. Waiting on the lineup to be posted. If it is before we get out of here, we'll run through it. As of right now, it has not been posted. But Bethune-Cookman is, they're a good SWAC team. They're 22-10. LSU's 22-11 on the season. They're 10-2 in the SWAC. So they swept Southern this past weekend. Batting .288 on the season, just 16 homers, so not really a threat of the long ball. And their staff ERA is north of 4. But when you're talking about an SEC school against a SWAC school, you're talking about just just a giant gap as far as talent. So you would hope this would be a game where LSU could go out, play its game, get a lot of guys some work, and get a little feel good before you hit the road for your series against a scuffling Ole Miss team. I will say that maybe the biggest question has been with Eddie Yaman, or what you do at first base with the struggles that Zach York has had. And I don't listen. I'm right there aligned with all of you. I mean, was it 4 weeks ago when we talked about Omar Cerna needing to be in the everyday lineup. My point then was, if your transfers aren't performing and you have these extremely talented young players with a super high ceiling, get those guys work to see how close they can get to their ceiling with the experience. And did the same thing at second, right? Whenever Dardar was struggling, and so they tried Ruckert there, kicked a few balls, and so now Dardar went in last weekend, hit 600 for the weekend against Kentucky, and earned more playing time. York, and I don't mean to just single out York, because there's a lot of guys at various times that have struggled, but that's a guy that is hitting, I think, 147 in SEC play. It's not been good, and defensively, he's been a liability as well. And every defensive miscue magnifies the offensive struggles, and every offensive struggle, pop-up or strikeout, magnifies the defensive miscues. The question is, do you have a better option at first? I would like to see Braun play first. I would like to see him get a weekend where you say, hey, freshman, get out there and let's see what it looks like with 12 to 15 at-bats over the course of 3 games. Smack dab in the middle of SEC play, that may not be the ideal situation to try it, and it may not go great. But maybe it does. That would be my preference. I know coming off this weekend, there's a lot of people that want to see Eddie Yaman play more. By the way, which is weird, because I know he's on the roster as Edward Yaman IV, but when he transferred in from Dayton, everyone called him Eddie Yaman. Like that was, but now I don't know if he's going by Edward. I guess he's going by Edward, whatever. Yaman. But Yaman has been limited at bats this season, but inconsistent. The 2 hits he had on Sunday were his first 2 hits in conference play this year. Hadn't had a hit since the Creighton game. So I don't know that I'm looking at Yaman going, yep, that's the answer. And I don't know, quite honestly, where you'd put him. A lot of people would suggest let him catch and you DH Cerna or Aaron Beatty. My point is, I don't know how you take Cerna or Aaron Beatty out of the lineup at this point. So if Yaman can play first, and when he came here, it was catcher first, third. He's a quarter infielder and could catch. So maybe Yaman at first is a good option. He's got, 6'4", 6'5". Maybe he can stretch, gives you a long target at first base for your infielders to throw as well. Maybe that's an option there. Would get you a right-handed bat in the lineup if you're facing a lefty. I still think of all those players, Braun is the highest ceiling guy that I'd probably like to see. And I think something you're probably going to hear me talk about a good bit between now and in July is focusing on your young players that you've recruited, that you invested the resources in recruiting to LSU, instead of letting those young guys leave after a year and then relying on transfers to try to supplement your entire roster. Because the conversation we were just having about money and resources for baseball and all that stuff, that gets magnified if you feel like you have to go buy 4 or 5 starters. I would rather you go add a couple, 1 or 2 real impact guys, and then maybe some depth pieces, but really focus on roster retention because you've worked so hard to recruit these guys out of high school and get them here anyway. So just a thought, something we'll talk much more about, no doubt, as the days and weeks go along. We're brought to you by Evermore, EVA-MOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. Drink Evermore natural artesian water. It's a healthier alternative right out of that natural artesian well on the North Shore. They actually built the bottling plant around the well. So if you drive to Evermore Air in Covington, you turn into the facility. I mean, you see the well right there when you drive in. So we're talking about these ancient underground aquifer. It is Mother Nature's masterpiece. So I challenge you all the time, if you drink another brand of bottled water, grab that bottle, do a side-by-side taste test with Evermore, and then look at the label. A lot of times you'll see with other bottles, such and such added for flavor. You're not drinking a natural, pure product. You don't have to worry about that with Evermore. You want to find where you can buy Evermore, you can go to the website, the menu, you can find a store, punch in your zip code. It'll tell you the store nearest you that sells Evermore. You could buy it online as well at evermore.com, EVAMOR. Evermore.com is a buy now tab at the top right. Evermore.com, if you want to buy it online, you can do it there as well. EVAMOR, Louisiana product by Evermore. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you have you hanging out with us here. We missed Shay earlier today, and nobody's heard from him. I kind of feel like, do you have the chung chung sound effect? Oh, dang it.
Not on the bar, but I have it in here.
What was that show?
Law and Order.
Law and Order. Is that a detective show?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we need the Law and Order sound effect. Where is Shay Dixon? The normally reliable reporter from On 3 The Bengal Tiger visits with Matt Moscona on After Further Review Tuesdays at 3:15. However, on this day, Shay was nowhere to be found. Didn't answer his phone. Didn't respond to multiple text messages. Nobody has heard from him. Shay has been absent on Twitter. Shay hasn't eaten food. Is Shay in the bathroom? What happened to Shay Dixon? His last tweet was 6 hours ago. Next on Law & Order. Law & Order LSU. Where is Shay Dixon? Is that how it goes?
I like the Law and Order LSU. That's
you
good.
Have like SVU?
SVU.
See
and
what
all,
LSU?
yeah,
See what I did?
I like it. I like that one. Here we go.
Okay.
I like that one. That was good.
Next on Law & Order LSU. I mean, is that? Oh, it's a timeout. I was looking at the computer screen. I'm like, is that Shay joining right now? That's like, it's a timeout on the
Dude,
thing.
that would have been wild. Like, hey, Shay, it's 5:45, man. Thanks, but we'll catch you tomorrow. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Shay, how disappointing. I mean, it's just every Tuesday at 3:15.
Oh, he's normally like he's normally in early.
I hope he's okay.
For real, yeah.
For real. Okay. Jimmy's next for Outer Lock. Stay here.
AFR.
Man, I popped into Goodwood earlier today, and they have a stem wave machine, which is pretty incredible. It sends an electromagnetic wave into your body, and it basically tricks the body into thinking it's been injured. And so it recruits blood and other healing elements to that area. So I've been using this I did my second treatment today for my back. And it's pretty remarkable because I think Muse and Paula would tell you, yesterday I walked in here, wasn't feeling super great. Kind of got me up and moving today. So I'm going to go back again on Thursday and get a third treatment. They recommend 6 treatments or so in a consolidated time frame. But another way that at Goodwood they help you feel your best. Simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for HRT. YourGoodwood.com. YourGoodwood.com.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
You, Otter,
What's going on, Matthew?
would you say that UConn was a backdoor cover last night?
Yeah, I mean, doesn't necessarily apply to basketball as much because there's so much back and forth. But I mean, if there is a kind of, yeah. I mean,
You said backdoor cover. I pushed against it. I was like, backdoor cover would be like if you're down one or you're down, you're down 18, and then as the clock's running out, you decide to do a breakaway uncontested jam. Like that's a backdoor cover.
yeah, I've never heard backdoor cover applied to basketball, actually. But for instance, in football, it is an insignificant score that has no bearing on the game that that covers the spread.
That's like what I just talked about. If there was like a breakaway jam with no time left and you're down 18.
Yes, something like that. When I guess the best case of that would be Final Four, UConn and Duke, and Chris Duhon down 4. It's a half-court shot at the buzzer to go. So
good.
Yeah.
Duhon from Slidell, right?
That was my wedding bet. So anyway, So anyway, so it was a 50-50 game. I mean, it was, Michigan hit 20 straight free throws, and then they missed 2 at the end. But, this time, AJ Caravan, he could not hit the long 3 to cut it to 1 with less than a minute to go. So against Duke, they did. But, man, let's face it, that is defense, and length. I mean, that is a tough defensive team in Michigan, and well-deserved of the national championship.
Yeah.
So, very, but, Duke may have been a tougher game, but Duke showed their youth in that meltdown in the regional finals. So best team won, but boy, UConn, and I think we were talking about it on this show. I think Mr. Hurley, who can be tough to like, to put it mildly, may have learned something watching his colleague in the women's side over the weekend, because he was very, very classy, very humble, very good. He was I saw probably the best side I've ever saw of him last night. He said, man, what can I ask more of my team? We had 22 offensive rebounds. We defended like heck. I mean, they played as hard as they could. They really did. And that's a well-coached team, man. And that's the good side of him. If we could just get through his, shenanigans and just respect the brilliant coach that he is, because he is very, very good.
No doubt. All right, we got 3 in MLB. All 3 of them are underway. Yep. You want to roll through it?
So the Pirates, both Ace, Seminara, and we got Skeens. Skeens went through 3 up, 3 down in the first, including 2 strikeouts, including Tatis, who he fell behind 3-0 and came back to strike him out on the next 3 pitches. So Skeens is 3 up, 3 down. No score. Bottom of the first, 1 out, nobody on. So those odds should be fairly close.
It's minus $1.64. You still like it?
Yeah, I'd play it.
Okay.
I'd play it. Okay. Then we're going to go to the Red Sox and Brewers. Red Sox, no Musso knows this, but they have been one of the bigger disappointments in baseball so far. I really like their roster this year, but 2-8, and one of the problems is one of the biggest the biggest locks on the team, and that's Ocean Springs. Crochet, Garrett Crochet rather.
Mm-hmm.
The big left-hander, he has not been pitching that great so far. So Mizorowski, the young stud for the Brewers, on the road tonight. Boston blew a lead last night. We're looking at Milwaukee plus some odds against Crochet, who's not quite deserving of those lofty odds.
It's up to plus $1.49 right now, the bottom of the first with nobody out.
Let's do it. I would still say that one. And then Cardinals.
1 minute remaining.
No score. 2 on, 1 out.
Cardinals are up 1-0.
Nationals. What's that?
Cardinals are up 1-0.
Yeah, well, there we go. So we got the over in that one. over 7, it's got to be like 7.5 or 8.
8.5.
So, yeah, I wouldn't now. So you didn't get on that one. Sorry. So, but got to get on these early ones because they are a lot of them are starting at 5:40. But anyway, we do have the Nationals scored a lot of runs again last night. 9-6 was the final last night. And so we're going to take the over with a surprising national bat so far this season.
Where are you tomorrow?
We're at Modesto on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
Very good. Thanks, Otter.
All right, good luck.
All right, see you, man. That'll do it for us here. Thanks to our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Miss anything, catch AFR on demand, presented by Breck Golf. Muse Polly, thanks. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. We are 8 days away from tax day. Dom, dom, dom. Hey, it's actually a great opportunity to remind you that there's a lot of potential tax benefits to owning land. As a landowner, you will incur expenses, could be tax deductible. So ask your CPA the benefits of owning recreational timber land. It could help you next year at this time when tax season rolls around. Of course, land's a finite resource. They ain't making more of it. Never going down in value. Columbus ain't sailing the ocean blue again. He's been dead for like 500 years. Maybe more than that. 600 years. A lot of years. I don't know when he died. FirstSouthland.com.